So this right here is looking down. That's Glass Mountain. That's named after the Glass Fire, or the Glass Fire is actually named after it. But there's a little knoll right there, and then behind it's another little knoll. And they're totally, all those trees are brown and charred. Many of them are probably going to die this winter. I don't think they're going to come back. I think 80% of them have been toasted. And on the back knoll, that's even worse. I think that's been like 90% of those trees are just going to die and have to be fell. And so this is coming up to Angwin. This is, I think this is called Sanitarium Road. Our roads are funny because they have 3 different names depending on which section of them you're on. The lower part's called Deer Park Road, then we got Sanitarium, then we got Howell Mountain Road up higher. But okay, down there is a house that was just totally vaporized. No disrespect to the owners or what happened. I don't think there was any loss of life, but this is really, really destructive what happened here. This winery up here, the vineyard got burned. You can see the brown part of the vineyard, and then there's the green part to the left. The brown part, it burned through. I don't know if they harvested. This is right during harvest time when all this fire happened. A house up there got burned. That knoll in front of me got totally burned. See a bunch of madrones, coastal live oak, black oak, Quercus callaghi, pine trees, ponderosa pines, Douglas firs, all burned. And this hillside over here, this is Crestmont. These houses on the upper section here, and this got really burned. This whole canyon got really charred. There had been small fires in the past on here a few years ago and they were put out, but this one came with a lot of intense force. It's Crestmont Ridge. All those hills, all those homes up there have views of the upper Napa Valley. 7 homes were lost from what I heard. And I think there's about 25 homes average, plus or minus, up there. Here's the other side. The uphill side. Nice old black oak right there. It got totally incinerated. Just the skeleton is standing. It's amazing that these homes up here, a lot of them were saved. Because I saw the fire the night it was coming up this hill. I was above looking down and watching it come up here. There was some homes up here that were burned on this side as well, but I'm amazed that some of these actually survived. Some friends of mine live up here. Their place was saved. He's a tractor operator. He bulldozed around the edge of his property. Broke out the D8, started plowing around his place. Some of these vines were saved, some were burned. to Angwin, the actual town of Angwin proper. And the fire, you know, it came up around it on all, virtually almost all four sides. And 95% of the homes, I'd say over that, 98% of the homes in Angwin were totally saved. More like 99%, because the homes that were burned on the outskirts of Angwin, I think they were kind of like outside of the town. It's not an incorporated town, so there's no definite boundary, but it's got people stuffed away out in the woods on the outskirts of. Here we are coming into Angwin. First moved here, there was no vines on the left and the right here. It was all forest. It's not the forest that's the problem, it's the way the forest is managed. The ladder fuels need to be reduced and the trees need to be thinned carefully. We need to resume regular controlled burns like we had over 100 years ago, like the Indians did. And we wouldn't have these disastrous fires like this. The town's been cut out with power for over 2 weeks. About 3 weeks, no power, but they got these, I just drove past them, these massive generators. The generators are the size of semi-tractors, or like those storage containers, those sea box containers, freight containers. There's like 5 of them, and they're massive diesel engines, generators, and they're powering this whole town. And that's a temporary cell tower. Verizon and AT&T are piggybacking on that. And the air quality up here is not good. Like, even though we still have our woods intact, the smell of the burn all around us. This is a really small town. 1 gas station, 1 store. The smell of at night, the air. You can smell the air quality, the loss of oxygen from the destruction all around us. Even though we have a little island of trees here, it's still, the air smells very, it's like if you were sleeping in your fireplace in your house, if you could make yourself into a tiny little person and put your bed right down in the fire, like if you had an old brick fireplace, an open fireplace, and you slept in there, what it would smell like. Everything's burnt. Everything smells like ashes and dry. It's very acrid and dry. But this little town was saved right here.